Hello everyone, today I will be rating viewer submitted cars. These are cars that you guys sent me on Xbox. To everyone who sent their car, I greatly appreciate it. I tried to get around as many as I possibly could. As recording this video, I got to all of them. So if you sent me a car, you are in this video before September 12th. And once again, thank you to everyone who sent a car. I am always taking submissions. I kind of want to make this a once a month sort of video, but I have to see how well this video does. If it does decent, then I'll do it once a month, maybe once every 2 months. I don't know, but just send me your car and I will get around to it sometime. But that's enough yapping. Let's get to the cars. The first person who sent me their car goes by JuneBuggy11 on Xbox. And here we have a T20, looks like a bright orange T20 with maybe, I don't know if that's a yellow secondary and orange wheels. Now, I will say I'm not a fan of the yellow secondary. I think it could maybe work with maybe white wheels. Not a big fan of the orange wheels. I'm also not a big fan of the wheel design. I think it's the Endo V4, but I could be wrong. Maybe it's one of the new wheels that came out as part of the street wheel update. Well, it's not really new, but you know what I mean, newish. But the T20 is a great car overall. It's hard to make it look ugly per se, and I will have to rate this car a 6.5 out of 10. The next car comes from Galaxy809 on Xbox, and here we have a Viceris. Kind of Ronald McDonald spec here with the red on yellow. Not an entirely big fan of both of these colors combined. I think both of these colors could work. Even the yellow interior, if you had sort of a crazy looking exterior, it would have to be like orange or yellow though, or something along those lines. But the red and yellow kind of gives me ketchup and mustard vibes, Ronald McDonald. And I'm not a big fan of it overall. I'm also not a big fan of the yellow underglow. I'm just not. I mean, for a lot of people, they like underglow. I think underglow only looks good on very few, a select handful of JDM cars. Definitely not on the Viceris, but the customizations are pretty good. I do like the hood scoop, and I think there was a spoiler on there as well. It's pretty dark though, so I can't exactly tell. And it's actually so dark that I can't see the wheels, but I think they are yellow from what I could kind of tell. And I do like the Viceris. It's a car that you don't see too often. It has come on sale numerous times since its deletion, or I think it got deleted. I'm not too sure if it got deleted or not. Let me know. But I'm going to have to rate this car a 6 out of 10. This next one comes from Spathee, and I will have to say this is the first car in this video that is sort of themed along the lines of clean, I say that in quotations, cars, because what I mean is people often get their cars and they put a color on them and some wheels, no tint, and that's basically it. They customize them very minimally, and that's how you get a clean car. But I think this actually is a pretty clean car. I am a fan of the Cheeto Classic. I do think it's a nice looking car. The pop-ups are obviously very wonderful. No custom plate, however, so I am going to have to zonk that. If you do get a custom plate, it just adds so much character to your car. Get a custom plate, please. They fixed it, and it's very easy to do. I am a fan of these wheels. I'm a fan of them in white and the chrome outside. I think that looks pretty nice. I like the spoiler, the hood scoop. This is a pretty clean car. You can't really go wrong with this. And overall, I'm going to have to rate it a 7.5 out of 10. Next up, we got a Sentinel Classic from Tippers69420. What a series of numbers. But here we have it here. It is exploded. I'm not a big fan of it being exploded in the screenshot. If you guys do this in the future, send it to me non-exploded so I can like see it in all of its customizations, because when it's like this, can't really see anything. But the hood looks stock to me. The doors look pretty nice. I mean, you can't do anything to the doors, but the color is pretty nice as well. I think it's this orange. I believe those are the stock wheels, if I'm not mistaken. The stock wheels on these are so nice. I'm not even gonna lie. If they ever came out in the Simeon's shop or Luxury Autos with black, oh my god, I will sell my soul for it. But they have not, and I do think this is tinted as well, but it doesn't look like a limo tint. I can see through it slightly. Looks like maybe the first option in the tint category, and it is pretty clean overall. I am a fan of the carbon lip spoiler there and the spoiler in the back resembling the E30 M3 spoiler, and this is pretty clean overall. I'm gonna have to rate it 7.5 out of 10. Next one from Racing Noob 15, we have a pretty stock looking Saber Turbo. This honestly looks like a street model, but maybe he just customized it very minimally with black and chrome accents. I can't really tell here. I mean, Saber Turbo, you can't really go wrong. Even stock on the street, it does look pretty nice. I am a fan of the car. It would be nice to have a little bit more customization. Maybe he did customize it, but honestly, I can't really tell. Maybe he changed the grille. I don't believe the grille comes like that. I believe it comes in like a plastic color. But I'm not 100% sure on that, and it is pretty basic, so for that reason, I'm gonna have to rate it 5.5 out of 10. I still do like the Saber Turbo though. Coming up from Neuroxis, we have a 8F Drafter. I do like the 8F Drafter, and this is a modded or glitched variant of it with the Benny's wheels and this pretty nice shine to it. I'm not a fan of modded cars, guys. I'm not gonna lie to you. When people do like the crazy Benny's merge and the glitches and all that, I think it looks honestly kind of ridiculous, and I personally never would put that on my car. I have no car that has this amount of glitches on it, and I wouldn't do this to my car at all, but I can appreciate when a car like this is done well, and this one is done pretty well. A lot of them, they just have the chameleon colors and the crazy wheels, and that's it. But this one actually does look pretty nice. I am a fan of this orange we got here. I'm pretty sure it is a livery though, but I'm not too sure. Maybe the primary is chrome, that's why it's shining so much. And the wheels honestly don't bug me that much. I think they are pretty clean. I'm not a fan of the white walls. Only put white walls on old classic cars. Please do not put them on new cars, but it's your car. I guess you can do whatever you want. And for being a modded car, it is pretty nice, but I don't like them in general. I'm still going to have to rate it a 7 out of 10. Coming up from the Vinny 2204, we have a Kuruma here. Now this is pretty nice. I'm not a big fan of these liveries on these JDM cars that Rockstar puts. I do like the option to have them, but I don't like actually having them on my car. I think they look a bit weird unless you're going for like a sponsored rally time attack sort of style. But this is pretty nice, I'm not gonna lie. I do like the S-Racer wheels. I like the red. It does make it pop pretty nice, especially with the white. And I do think this is probably the best livery on the Kuruma. I am also a fan of the roll cage in this. I think it makes it look even better. You're really trying to go for sort of a racing style. It's very obvious. You're not trying to go for a street build or nothing. And this does work pretty well. I am a fan of this, and I can appreciate that you didn't go the crazy route. The Kuruma has so many different crazy, ridiculous options to put on it that everyone puts on it. They put the big old wing that's on the Jester Classic. I mean, the Jester regular, and I don't know, it just has a crazy amount of modifications, but this person didn't do that. They made it pretty clean, and I can appreciate that. This is actually a very clean car overall. I don't believe there's underglow, so bonus points on that. I'm going to have to rate this car a 8 out of 10. Next up from Hercules 925, this person kind of cheated. They put multiple cars in the picture, but I'm just going to judge the two that are most in the picture, the Jester Classic and the Dominator. The Dominator looks like a wine red with a carbon hood, red tire lettering. I'm not a fan of those wheels on it either. Not a fan of the tire lettering or the carbon hood on this specific color. I think it also has side vents as well. Limo tint, not a fan of the Dominator. I'm gonna have to rate the Dominator 5 out of 10. As for the Jester Classic, it's obviously a tribute to Fast and Furious, Paul Walker. Just because it's a tribute, 10 out of 10, but just know this. If it wasn't a tribute and it looked different, I would probably rate it lower, but just because for the legend Paul Walker, rest in peace, I'm going to have to rate it 10 out of 10. Coming up from Dom, we have a Cognoscenti. This is a armored version. I am a big fan of this car. I'm not going to lie, you guys. This is probably one of my favorite luxury cars in the game. Not a big fan of the armored variant just because I think the armored paneling looks so ugly. And on this particular build, I think if this was clean with no armor paneling, this would be like a 9 out of 10 build. But just because it has armor paneling, and it does have, I think that's a black license plate as well. It should be white just so it could blend in with the white wheels a bit better. This car does make limo tint acceptable because it's like a, you know, you're supposed to be driven in this, privacy in the back. Makes sense. And you can't really customize the Cognoscenti. So the only thing you can really mess up is the color combo. But this is pretty clean. I'm going to have to rate it 8 out of 10. Coming up from LE Monster 3003, we have this RX-7 build here. I am a pretty big fan of this, not gonna lie. I'm not a fan of the Sunstrip. I think Sunstrips, unless you're doing like a rally build and it has the sponsor on it as well as a livery, I think it looks a bit strange, but that's just my personal preference. You could argue it to me and I maybe would probably side with you. I do like these mirrors. These are optional. They're not the stock ones that come on this. I do like the wheels as well. The white wheels on the JDM car obviously looks fantastic. I like the bumper and the intercooler combo. That's the same one I have on my RX-7. I like the hood and I like the spoiler. This is overall pretty clean build. I also like how you didn't tint it. The only thing I'm not a big fan of is the white seats. Me personally, I'm gonna make them black, but I think they actually don't look too bad. And this is overall a pretty clean build. I'm gonna have to rate it 8 out of 10. Coming up from PhonkMonkey, we have this Fagoa build. I do like the custom plate Fast Life, even though this is probably the slowest car in this video. But you know, it's always cool to have a laugh about how slow your car is. I do think this is actually a pretty clean car. I love this color. I think it's like a sea green or maybe gasoline green. I can't exactly tell. I like the wheel combo as well. I believe the secondary is chrome, which I would probably do as well. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I'm gonna have to zonk the license plate a little bit because it is exempt. Please, people, unless your car is meant to be like an official government vehicle, don't make your car with an exempt plate. I know it looks cleaner. I know it doesn't have the sticker expiration date or anything, but like, I don't know, it just makes me a little bit mad. But I'm not going to take too much points off because this is pretty clean. I'm going to have to rate it 7.5 out of 10. Just because I don't love the Fagoa, but I think this one actually looks pretty clean. Coming up from the Lone Wolf X191, we have the second Viceris in this video. And honestly, don't tell the other Viceris guy this, but I think this one looks a little bit nicer. I do like the orange on here. I like the hood and those two big vents. I think it does look pretty nice and mean. I do like the wheels as well. They have this chrome outside with the black inside. I do like that. I'm not a big fan of the limo tints. Only do like one option from the limo tint category, like the lowest tint, you know what I mean? Unless you're going for like a VIP build where it's supposed to be all blacked out, or it's like a murdered out build with like the all blacked out everything, then do that. But unless you're not doing that, don't put limo tint. But overall, this car is pretty clean. I do like the Viceris once again. I do like the pop-up headlights. This car is cleaner than the other one. I'm gonna have to rate it 7.5 out of 10. Coming up from El Jai Base Baz 16. Please don't, I know I butchered that name so bad. I'm so sorry whoever submitted this car. But we have this car right here. I'm not a big fan of the blue wheels. I believe that's like the fluorescent blue wheel. I don't like that color at all, really. Unless the car fits with it, but this particular one doesn't really. Not a big fan of the sun strip on this particular build. Not a big fan of sun strips in general. Not a big fan of the front bumper, but I do like how it's accented with the gray. That does give you some bonus points. I also do like the side skirts for doing the same thing. I don't like the tire lettering, and I do like how you did the tinted lights. I would have this option on mine, but honestly, I don't know. I think it looks a bit... I honestly don't even like them in real life. When people have them on their cars in real life, I'm just like, why would you do that? They make them literally useless. You're paying someone to make your lights more useless and less functional. But I mean, for style points, I guess whatever. Not a big fan of them, but I think on this build it doesn't look particularly bad because you have a limo tint window as well. Not a big fan of the crew emblem, but I do like this car overall. I'm going to have to rate it a 6 out of 10. Coming up from Sierram 6198, we have this Skyline build, and I'm telling you guys right now, this is my sweet spot. This is precisely how my LG Retro Custom looks, but it's a slightly darker red. I have the chrome variant of the endo wheels, and I do have the same intercooler. I have the same bumper. I don't have the carbon top just because I think it looks a bit weird on my build, but on this one it looks pretty good. I don't think he did window tint. He did the option just below window tint, so it's not the lightest, but it's not the darkest. I do like the spoiler. I like the hood. This is overall a very clean car, guys. I'm going to have to rate it a 8.5 out of 10. Coming up from XXxunrealdutyxx, we have this Jester Classic. I do like this one. I'm not going to lie, you guys. I know I was saying I don't like tire lettering, but this guy did it pretty well. This is precisely how you pull this off. White wheels, white livery, and a light color. This is how you pull off white tire lettering. Other colors tire lettering, I'm not even going to get into that, but this one in particular looks really nice. It makes the tire lettering actually fit. He didn't do limo tint. I can't tell if he did a roll cage or not, but he did do a carbon lip bumper, and I do like the spoiler as well. So I'm going to have to rate this car an 8.5 out of 10. I know it seems like I'm giving out a lot of 8.5 out of 10s, but the car has to be good to be 9 and over. Like, there's a couple in this video though, y'all see. Next up, coming from Hooniqueen, guys, I'm gonna have to break it to you. This car is nice. I know a lot of people are not big fans of minis, and this person, I believe in the messages, even said a lot of people might not like it, but I like it. And honestly, I like it too. This is nice. I do like the wheels. I like the livery. I like the classic mini white roof. I do like the sun strip in this case. I was telling you guys, some cars can't really pull it off. This person did. I do like how the tint actually fits the wheels. If the wheels were a different color, I might have rated this lower, but Hooniqueen, I'm going to have to rate you a 9 out of 10. Coming up from FOTG2, we have this blade here. I believe this is a wine red on chrome blade. This is pretty nice. I do like the wheels as well. I like the black license plates, and this is a pretty clean blade build. There's not a lot of customization on the blade. I always thought that was a missed out opportunity on Rockstar's end because this car with just some modifications would look so nice. But they just never gave it to it, and I am kind of sad about that. But this build is pretty clean. Overall, I'm going to have to rate it a 8 out of 10. Even though it has limo tint, the color is dark, so it fits. Coming up from M3 GTR Steeler, we have a Need for Speed build here. Now, I will say, this is the right concept on the wrong car. I believe the Sentinel is a better build for this concept because this is a modern day M2. The Need for Speed, the famous GTR M3, is based on an E46 M3. So if you're going to do a build like this, Maybe do it on the Sentinel instead, but it still looks pretty nice here, I'm not gonna lie. I do like this color combo. The silver on blue looks really nice. I like it a lot, but I'm not a huge fan for colored headlights. I think it's very hard to pull off. This car actually does it pretty well because it matches with the colors. It flows well to me, but a lot of cars don't flow well, so maybe don't do this on most cars, but this guy made it work, and this is pretty clean overall. I'm gonna have to rate it a 7 out of 10. Coming up from IMadeULookl, we have the third Viceris in this video. I think this is the cleanest Viceris out of all three, I'm not gonna lie. I do like the end exhaust right there where it takes the license plate. I do like when cars don't have license plates. To me, I don't know, it's just how cars were meant to be. When designers design cars, the last thing they think about is the license plate, even though they should be thinking about it because it's mandatory and all that. I mean, come on, this car looks so good without a license plate, and this is pretty clean. I do like the color. I'm not sure what color it is in particular, but I do like it. It's just a light blue. I like the wheels. I think it flows well. No tint also is a bonus, and this is a very clean car. I'm gonna have to rate it a 9 out of 10. Coming up from HKSZZZ, we have this Cipher build here, and this is pretty nice. This is clever. I like how he did this. This is very clean. He matched the skirts, the trim color of the skirts to the interior of the car. This is big brain crazy. I never see this. Everyone tints their car like limo tint, so even if they do, I can't see it anyways. But this guy made it clear tint so you can see the inside. And overall, this is clean. This is very clever. I like how he did this. This is honestly a very clean look. I like the carbon grille. I like the carbon hints, the roof. Everything flows very well. And this is a very clean car. So I'm going to have to rate it a 9 out of 10. Coming up from LucaCelDexo on Xbox, we have this Comet Safari build. I believe in the messages he told me that this was based off of a car from like a movie or a YouTuber. I don't know. But I don't know what car it's based off of, so that kind of sucks because that'll give you more context. But regardless, this is a pretty nice Comet Safari build. I like the white steelies with the white livery. I do like that. It flows very well together. I like the 4 extra headlights. I like the camper rack on top with the also 4 extra headlights, so 8 extra headlights in total. I like the rear spoiler, although you can't really see it too much. It does make it look very nice from this angle. I do like the mud guards. Mud guards are so underrated. Like, guys, put mud guards on every car that has them, unless it's like a supercar. If it's like a sports coupe or like a sports sedan, unless it's really modern, put mud guards on them, please. And send me a screenshot if you can do, because I'm telling you, they look nice. And this build in particular does look very nice as well. I'm gonna have to rate it an 8.5 out of 10. Coming up from Drifter on Xbox, we have this S13 build here. I do think this is very nice. We have this sort of cream off-white color with a brown secondary or a beige secondary. I can't exactly tell from this angle because of the lighting. The only thing is I'm not a fan of the tint. If you're gonna do a stock looking grandpa build like this, go all out. Don't put tint on it because I feel like it kind of throws off the vibe a little bit, but I do think it looks okay. You could argue that it looks good, and I honestly might agree with you as well. But me personally, I'm not gonna put tint on it, but I do overall think this car is pretty clean. There's not much mods done to it. This is clearly a stock looking build, and I can appreciate that in a modern GTA Online lobby. Everyone has customized cars everywhere, and seeing one like this is a nice breath of fresh air. I'm gonna have to rate it an 8 out of 10. Coming up from B17 Ace on Xbox, we have this Dynasty build here. It's giving me some England, old-time London sort of vibes with the stock build and the green and the chrome. And honestly, it looks pretty cool. I mean, a lot of people don't really like the Dynasty because it obviously looks ugly and it's old. I do like the taxi mods on it because I think it adds some character, and I believe you can use it as a taxi. But no one does that anyways, and I'm not too sure that's even true, but that's what I think at least. And this is a clean stock build. It's not nice, but it's not ugly, so I'm gonna have to rate it a 6.5 out of 10. Coming up from Icy VTec, we have this Buccaneer build here. I believe this is the first time we see this sort of color in this video. This is a matte color, but he did the glitch. I'm not even gonna call it a glitch. They left it in the game for like 2 years. It's not even a glitch. It's a method at this point. He did the method to change it and be able to have the option to change the pearlescent. And you can do this. I made a video on it a long time ago. It's pretty bad quality, but if you want to go watch it, it does tell you accurately how to do it. And this guy did it pretty well with the green here. I can't really see the wheels, but I mean, they look gray, and I'm sure it doesn't make a big difference on the overall car. I do like the drop top, but I'm gonna have to give it bonus points for being right outside Cockatoos. Come on, who doesn't know Cockatoos, the most famous club in Los Angeles? But overall, I do like this Buccaneer build. I think it is pretty clean. I do like the chrome grille as well. I wish I could see the license plate, but overall, this is a pretty clean build. I'm gonna have to rate it a 7 out of 10. Not exactly my cup of tea, but I can see how it is your cup of tea. Coming up from PGCorona, we have this Picador build here. It is so refreshing to see a Picador. The Picador is so underrated. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. If you guys don't have a Picador in your collection, I don't think you can buy them anymore. Maybe you can. I'm not exactly too sure on that. Go find one on the streets. You will not be disappointed. But this particular build here is pretty nice. It has F1 wheels. I'm not a fan of F1 wheels on a lot of cars. I think it's just kind of corny and weird, and people put them on like Zentornos and Deveste 8s, and it looks weird. But here it looks pretty nice. I do agree with it. And this is what I'm telling you guys. This is how you pull off a limo tint build. This is clearly a murdered out build, although it is chrome in the front. I don't believe he can change that though, so it's not exactly his fault. And I'm not exactly sure what's going on with the hood there. What the? But overall, this Picador is a pretty clean build. I love seeing Picadors around, so I'm gonna have to rate this car an 8 out of 10. Coming up from packrnr, we have this faction build here. Not a lot of people drive the faction around. I have a non-Benny's faction in my collection, and I'm very surprised by it. It sounds very good. The only thing is it scrapes a lot, and it's not even the Benny's version, so it's not lowered. It's just that the physics with it, I'm not too sure. Like, when you guys are finished watching this video, go buy the faction. It's like 30,000. I'm pretty sure you can still buy them, and drive it around. Don't put the Benny's version on it, and just like scrape a curb or two. It just feels weird. I don't quite know how to explain it, but go find out for yourself. This particular build here is pretty clean though. I do like the Benny's livery here. I'm not a big fan of lowriders, but this one is nice. I like the white walls, I like the wheels, I like the tint, and I like the secondary black. I do like how they put the pearlescent as cream too. You can tell it's cream because looking at the black, it has a slight yellow shade to it, or a like tan shade, and that's how you can tell it's cream. But this car is pretty clean overall. I'm gonna have to rate it an 7.5 out of 10. Coming from Owen the Frog 586, we have this 9F build here, or is it a 10F? Oh my god, it's a 10F. My bad. This 10F build here, and I'm not a big fan of liveries. I'm not gonna lie, and I'm pretty sure this livery in particular has a backwards thing on it, or maybe it's just like that. I'm not too sure. I haven't got this livery in a long time. But this is pretty clean. I do like how the white wheels match with the white accents on the livery. I do think that is pretty nice. I don't like how the livery turns the top half of this like gray. I think that's so ugly, but you can't change that. You can't help it, so I'm not going to dock you any points for that. I do like the underglow in this particular case. This is how you pull off underglow when it's not a JDM car. You have to match the underglow to the main color of the car. This is clearly going for some sort of Tokyo, Japan vibes where you're racing around, you know what I'm saying, ducking law enforcement and doing illegal activities. And I'm not no snitch, but this car is pretty nice. I'm gonna have to rate it a 9 out of 10. Coming up from AajlesPL, I'm most definitely butchering that name, so sorry about that. We have this Penumbra build here. I do think this is pretty nice. This is precisely how you do it, guys. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I like this livery. I like the cherry blossom. I like the white. I like the wheels. I like the bumper. Not a big fan of the tint. I would go for a fishbowl sort of look, but I mean, it looks okay. I like the spoiler, and I do like how this car looks overall, but I will say this is probably the most played out livery in GTA Online. I mean, everyone who has this car uses this livery, but I mean, it's for a reason. This livery does look pretty nice. I actually know someone in real life who had this livery on their car, and it looked pretty clean. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. It was on a G35. But I mean, this is not a G35, and this is GTA Online. But for GTA Online, this is pretty clean. I'm gonna have to rate it an 8 out of 10. Finally, we have Henny X Crown. I saved this car for last for a reason. I'm gonna tell you out the gate right now. This is the only car in this video to receive a perfect 10 out of 10. This is super clean. I don't know how you messed this up. This is orange. I do like the tint on this particular car, and I do like the wheels and the spoiler. This is actually very similar to a F1 build I had, but I changed mine. Mine is now red with the same wheels on this car and the same spoiler, so maybe that's why I like it so much. Totally not biased at all. But this is the only car in this video to get 10 out of 10, a perfect score, because it's just so damn clean. Maybe this isn't everyone's cup of tea. Some people might call it basic, but to me, this is just perfect. It's just how it's meant to be done. And congratulations, Henny X Crown, for winning the cleanest car from the first viewer submitted car video where I rate your guys' cars. Thank you to everyone who submitted their cars and all the sweet messages. I really appreciate it. I couldn't get back to all you guys right away, but I promise if you send me a message in this video, I probably already replied back to you by the time this video is out. If I didn't, I will get around to it. But thank you everyone who participated. I really appreciate it. Once again, I appreciate the sweet messages. And if you would like to be in the next installment of this series, all you have to do is do the same thing I told you to do in my first video. Send me a screenshot of your car on Xbox. My gamertag is VFallsV, with a space between the V's. And I do appreciate, once again, everyone who sent their cars. And if you do this, try to get it in good lighting and with the car and most of the frame. I know it could be a little bit hard, maybe go in Rockstar Editor too, but I know that's a bit extra. Not everyone has Rockstar Editor to begin with, because most people just bought the standalone GTA Online and not story mode. I bought it only because I make YouTube videos, obviously, and I need to do Rockstar Editor for thumbnails and whatnot. But yeah, thank you everyone for sending their cars. Thank you everyone who likes the video, who comments and subscribes, clicks on it during the first minute. I appreciate all you guys, man. I really do. And I hope you have a great day or night or evening, and have a good one. Goodbye.